I saw exactly this war, and I'll leave it here. While praying in the pastoral house, I was taken to heaven. As I went up I saw many demons. They were prepared to attack the church. There was a battalion of demons of the air. They were gathering in order to go down to church, and one of the angels said, "Be welcome, because today you will receive one new mission." I asked the angel, "What is the mission of this time?" And the angel opened my eyes. I saw demons of various species inside the church, some were in the direction of the altar, and others in the direction of the door of the church. I told the angel how I will destroy them, and the angel said, "You will win these battles on your knees." As soon as I bent on my knees, I started to feel something different in my body changing, as if I began to shine and radiate light. Very suddenly I began to pray with great intensity and my eyes opened. I saw demons that were inside the church began to rise again into the air to fight me. I fought them with my knees on the ground. The more I prayed, the more the demon lost strength and began to retreat behind me. I was so strong that I wanted to continue fighting, but the angel next to me told me, "Go rest, because the fight is not yet ended." Then I saw myself ascending to heaven because the Lord called me to join him in his kingdom. When I arrived in space, the second heaven, I came across an entity that I had never seen before. The battle with this evil figure began and went spirals. This demon was so big that his hand was bigger than a human. I was so little before him. I wanted to reach heaven, so the fight began because I needed to continue this trip to heaven. When this entity started to fight me, very quickly I realized I had to fight with a superior force. This entity punched me and that punch reached me, and I got weak and got in oblivion. It was then that I forget every detail of this fight. I had no knowledge that this would be affecting me considerably. Everything turned upside down. That huge blow I took from the giant demon affected my prayer life so badly that I became spiritually weak. God said I wasn't ready to overcome this dimension of demons that way because there was happening much greater battle against the church when I was not aware of it. So I stayed for weeks tired without praying the way I should pray. This only brought defeat. So I was in our camp when I saw from the sky coming down an entourage of angels. They came and sang. They got to where I was. I noticed that the angels came with a stretcher. I said, "What do you mean by bringing a stretcher?" And the angels picked me up and they put me on this stretcher as if I was very injured and was unable to walk. Later I realized that these were angels who take care of the injured soldiers. They picked me up and took me to heaven. They transported me as I was lying on this stretcher. I realized that my spirit was all injured, so I was taken to heaven and I was treated. After receiving treatment of angels, I was there in heaven walking, for I had recovered. I was wondering, where is the Lord? So I went to a place below stairs where everything were made of precious stones. There were many vivid, active and living colors. I went up the ladder with energy and I was in a good mood when finally I saw Jesus, and I went to the Lord and hugged him. I was thinking I was no longer gonna see because things that were happening to me. The Lord always smiled. Then Jesus left me and I was taken into a large room, and in that room I stepped on the floor and saw images of the earth, and I saw the earth that was getting all dark. The lights were going out. Then I saw a lot of war. There was a lot of fighting between Christians and demons at this end time. The believer who does not live by sacrifice will be defeated. Many will not bear this sacrifice requiring fasting and prayer. Jesus said, "Brothers, watch, pray and be on guard, fasting and seeking the Lord." You are being warned. In heaven God said to me that what I went through is little because the earth and the church will be shaken like a ball. People will be scared. I was stronger after recovering from the blow of the spirit of air. I confess that I was afraid to bring more deep topics for fear of attracting more wars of this kind, but now I'm back to do it. Everything without fear because I feel that the Lord is giving me stronger weapons. Now I feel that God has revived me again because I was weak. He made me strong. I was fallen. He made me to get up. In fact, a declaration of war was issued against my ministry, the Prophetic Mission Church. Given that we were doing damage to the spiritual world, it was decided that our church must be completely destroyed, and then they made a program of auction. I saw that they put a price on my head. In this demons meeting it was said whoever could destroy the elderly Amber would be rewarded with many gifts. From that moment I began to see in my room coming all kind of unclean spirit that were desperate to catch me. for there were rewards promised to whoever capture my soul. That's when attack multiplied in my life. They attacked me at every level of my life. I saw several snakes coming after me. As soon as I left my body I fought them all that night with the angels of God, and even if they were thousands they would destroy. During a retreat in a mountain while I prayed strongly, after I have finished praying, I lay on the floor and suddenly the sky was differently. I looked at the sky and saw several angels. They worshipped the Lord with song of the prophet Elder Church in these words: "Let your will be done in my life because your will is perfect," and they loved it strongly. And I asked the angels, why are they loving this song? The Lord said to high angels, "Tell my son Flavio that my will is perfect in his life." On the same day in the night while I was on the mountain inside the tent, I was taken below the waters where I saw a meeting of several various mermaids of all the continents, and in this same meeting there was a table with dishes, and on those dishes I saw my name written there. There were several mermaids and every one of them was nervous and upset because they had failed on their attempt to bring down our mission, and they were putting together another project to destroy my prophetic ministry, and on the same plate they wrote with blood my name. In the middle of the meeting I saw of the dog-faced humanoid entity who seemed to be Lucifer, because he was the one giving orders to the audience of queens, goddess and mermaids to destroy me. And then he realized that someone was watching and suddenly the water began to shake. Brothers, in this experience I could see the demon Baphomet that I had fought previously. Day and night he is always looking for an open door. He wants to end me. All kind of international entities were in this meeting. I was accompanied by warrior of prayer who were with me through the struggles we were going through. I preferred to hide his name because the level of fight is high. I want to be more careful not to expose those children who are in process so as not to be attacked by high-level demon. Therefore, dear brothers, I am to write this report to serve as a notice. Angels are fighting now at night with all intensity, meaning that the prayer must be 3 times more than now. Many will not be able to not support the war of the last hour. With half bowl of weak prayer, we cannot have the authority to win these. The fight that is more intense unless we multiply prayer. We are not winning. The attacks are high level, that's why prayer must go from lower level to a much higher level. But there came a time when I was not winning these battles because the angels didn't come. The resistance was too high. Several demons of great hierarchy were sent to try stop me. The battle was so intense that at some point I got discouraged and became sad. I began to question God, asking him, why are you punishing me like this? I stayed frustrated and the enemy found legalities against me and he touched my marriage in order to cause separation. The enemy wanted to break my marriage. Without understanding why, I saw that I was under great attacks from hell. Everyone around me was agitated for they were influenced by demons that were against me. I thought to myself, it's better dying. I'm not good for this work. In all my life I only lived victory and in wars. I didn't understand that I had opened a door because of murmuring. I was responsible for this. Many spirits were released from hell to destroy my house. Me and my wife, we are now reunited. The enemy did what he did, but God is good and has restores. The secret now is to be in a lot prayer and prayer for her so that she would be standing in the vision. I saw that the combat was against me. The enemy is cunning. This happened with Pastor Kenzo and with his family, so the enemy tried to do the same with my wife. I ask for forgiveness. The church must fight loud and let's go conquer. Prepare yourselves, something great will be occurring in a few months. If you pray to God, the Lord God will reveal to everyone. Children, peace to the whole church. Pray always for me. I can't stray from my mission is arduous. I will leave here one more story of a prayer warrior to cement this testimony. I was sleeping, then I saw the Lord descending from the sky himself. I said to myself, this honor will be given to God himself who made the earth. Then God arrived with his throne and sat above my head. My brothers, if you ask me how is God, I will tell you God is a giant. He is so big that when he's sitting you can only see the feet. If you cannot see his upper part, God in you even brings a big power I know man can resist. I was lying on the bed he made. God set high throne in my head. I looked at God but I could not look even further, but I was very happy and I started to shake a lot. There were so many angels that surrounded me, and one of the angels took a cup and was about to anoint me with oil that they put in my body. And then I looked, I saw that I was thin, It was as if I was looking at myself bed going through this process, so I saw that I was wearing white clothes, a very beautiful cassock. It is clean, and every time they anointed with this liquid I was shaking so much because of the power and glory of God. But the Lord talk about a mystery moment because He is faithful. I ask that you to be in deep prayer, for God will lift all wounded soldiers who long to be again in the glory of God. I told you all this because God allowed while I did not have permission. I was mouth closed. I have other experiences that I will be publishing as soon as God gives grace. While I'm writing that once all the fights that I was going through, He told me it's for me to pass through, that's it. But soon everything will be 3 times better. We should be strong and sing and pray, but I was getting tired.